Hey guys, it is Monday, July 2nd. Me and my husband are both off today because Canada Day was yesterday, so pretty much everywhere is off today in lieu of the holiday. Um, this is hopefully going to be a shorter video. I don't want it to be too long. Um, this isn't the video I planned to make today, but um, things happen. Things happened, so um, everything is still good. Um, I'm waiting. Well, I'll get into the story and then I'll tell you where we're at. So on Tuesday, so like almost a week ago, I was 15 weeks pregnant. On Friday, so 3 days ago, I had some bleeding, which I hadn't had, and it shocked me because I was not expecting to see it. Um, so luckily, it didn't start until after I had come back to work from my lunch break. And I take my lunch late. I usually go from 1 until 2, but I had actually started it late that day. So I was from about quarter after 1 till quarter after 2. So when I came back, I went to the washroom. That's when I noticed it. Um, so I called my doctor's office and they didn't answer. So I called, I don't know if this is common everywhere, but at least here we have what we call HealthLink. And it's just like I think it's a provincial thing that has registered nurses on the other end to help you decide whether it's safe to take this medication or if you should go to urgent care versus the hospital or a walk-in clinic, that kind of thing. So I called HealthLink because the doctor didn't answer. And she asked me a few questions. She was great. She was calm. It helped me stay calm. Despite, the fact that I was shaking because I was like so shocked. I had no idea what to think. But she helped me stay calm and she told me basically, we determined that obviously it wasn't good to be bleeding, but it wasn't enough blood that it was concerning to her, I guess, is the best way to put it. She did say if it got worse or if I started to experience any pain or cramps or discomfort or anything, to go to a walk in clinic. And then we talked a little more and she changed her mind. She said, I know I told you to go to a walk in clinic before, but I think actually if anything gets worse, go to urgent care. And I don't know if this is common, but urgent care here, anyways, is kind of like a mini hospital, so sort of between a walk-in clinic and the ER. So she said, go to urgent care if anything changes. So I kept an eye on things. Nothing really changed, and so I noticed it at about 2:30 ish, and then around 6:30, I finally got a pad so that I could track keep a better eye, I guess, on what was actually happening. Because I don't own pads, and we happened to be going over to my mom's house that day, and she does. So at around 6:30, I put a pad in or on, I guess on. I hate pads, so I that's not the point. And then by about 7:45, when I went to the washroom, I noticed that rather than just blood, there was actually a clot, which to me, that's a change because I'm used to seeing clotting when I get my period, and I'm pretty sure that that means, something is coming out, like the lining of your uterus or whatever, like something is coming out. And while you're pregnant, obviously, you don't want anything to come out. So I told my mom and Steven, my husband, that I thought we should go now because I was no longer okay with just keeping an eye on it. Um, so we went, and I've never gotten in to urgent care so quickly. Usually, you go and like a walk-in clinic or emergency room or whatever. It's hours and hours and hours of waiting. This is unrelated, but a couple of years ago, I was so sick. We showed up at the hospital because urgent care was closed. The one we went to was closed. To be fair, it was Boxing Day. So, we showed up at emergency at like midnight or something. And I still, like, I was so sick. Like, I couldn't even keep water down. Like, I was vomiting, but there was nothing inside of me, so my body was just going through the motions. There was nothing to do. I was so sick. I was so dehydrated. And it still took hours for me to get in. Like, I've never gotten in after this episode. I've never gotten in so quickly. I think we got there at about 8:45, and I was in the room with the nurse by 9:05, and the doctor came in to see me by 10 after. So we were not there very long, which kind of scared me, but I wouldn't let myself think about it because I'm like, if I think about why this is scary, I'm gonna freak out. Whereas if I just think, okay, this is good, like, we're not having to wait to find out what's wrong, we're finding out right away, kind of thing. So I definitely was having some struggles with really wrapping my head around it. Like, I was trying to be realistic, but I was also trying not to let myself get to that place because I didn't want to, and I didn't want to know if something was wrong, which is partly too why we waited so long to go in. But anyways, that's me. So we saw the doctor, and he came in, and he stalled, and he was like joking with my husband, and like wouldn't really make eye contact with me at first. And then after a couple minutes, it probably felt longer than it was, but it felt like forever. But after a couple of minutes, he started asking me questions and whatever, typical doctor routine. And then basically told me that if anything had started, there was nothing they could do to stop it. It sounds to me like, I think 24 weeks is the earliest that they can really do anything to keep everybody happy and healthy and alive. So being 15.5 weeks on Friday, he said, there's nothing really we can or would do. Basically we just wait and see. So eventually they brought in the Doppler, and by eventually I probably mean like 2 minutes later. They brought in a Doppler. And on Tuesday, actually, on my 15 weeks, I had seen my doctor just for my first prenatal appointment. Oh, that's what I was going to make this video about. Anyways, we can talk about that another time. So at that appointment, she had used a Doppler to try and find the baby's heartbeat. And she had found it, like it showed up on the screen on the machine, but we couldn't hear it. And I kind of wondered if she really knew what she was doing, because honestly, I don't think she has a lot of pregnant patients. But she's also a doctor, so I believed that she did. But she seemed comfortable having seen the number on the screen rather than, sorry, I don't know if you heard the train. Hopefully it's not going to be around long. She was comfortable having seen the heartbeat rather than heard it. So anyways, at the urgent care center on Friday, they used the Doppler, and I was thinking it was going to be the same thing. I'm like, they're not going to be able to hear it, but maybe they can see it, and that'll be enough. So he looked for the heartbeat, and he looked, and he looked, and he looked. And honestly, I have no idea how much time passed, because as I'm sure you can imagine, in that moment, it feels like an eternity. And I was looking at my husband, and I was looking at the doctor, and the longer it took, I think the less the doctor breathed, because once he finally found the heartbeat, he visibly, like, exhaled, and, like, his shoulders went down, like, he relaxed a lot. and we heard the heartbeat, which was kind of the silver lining to the whole thing. But they let us, like, they listened for a while, which let us listen for a while, and it was great. Um, and that basically after that, it was like I said before, like he told me, we can do an examination, like, of my cervix and stuff, I'm guessing. But if it's a little bit open, we have to wait and see what happens. And if it's closed and they can't understand why I'm bleeding, we have to wait and see what's happening. So I opted to not have the examination, because if we have to wait and see anyways, I'd rather wait and see with my pants on as long as possible. So he basically said to just keep an eye on it, keep using pads. If I'm filling or like soaking a pad in an hour or less, to go to emergency. Don't come back to urgent care. Go to emergency. So that was terrifying. But that's basically the end. I mean, we left and we got ice cream because I asked for it at Dairy Queen. We went afterwards, and that's it. Everything is seemingly good. It's now, like I said earlier, it's Monday, and that was on Friday. So Friday, this is probably TMI, but if you're watching this video, you've already had too much information. So Friday, there was blood, and it was bright red. And then the one clot at like 7:45 or whatever it was before we went to urgent care. And then Friday night / to Saturday morning, I like didn't bleed at all. Like when I went to the washroom in the morning, Saturday morning, like there was nothing. But then all day Saturday and all day Sunday, it was brown, which I know means it's old blood, and I'm figuring, okay, it's just working its way out of the system. It did kind of worry me that it was 2 like full days of brown blood, but I just kept an eye on it like I was told. And then this morning, it seems to have tapered off quite a bit. Like it's still happening, but it's very, very light. So I have an appointment with my doctor on Wednesday morning, because when I spoke to the HealthLink nurse, she said to see my doctor as soon as possible. She had said within 3 days, so Monday at the latest is what she said, but my office isn't open over the weekend, and then today, Monday, is a holiday here. So I got in as soon as I could because she's all booked up tomorrow, so whatever. I am waiting to see her, and then I guess I'll have something to tell you next week. If you have any questions, please leave them below. Oh, the other thing I wanted to share was I'm apparently one of those people, and I have a new Instagram account just for baby stuff. So it's a private account, but if you request to follow and I recognize your name, or I can see your profile, or I understand where you came from, I'll let you follow me. I don't want too many people, like strangers, to follow me there, but I'm also not super worried about it, especially because my baby's not here yet. So if you want to follow that account on Instagram, it's Baby Cowbell 2018. I'll leave that down below too, just so you can see it for sure. But don't feel like you have to. Obviously, like, only do it if you want updates. I don't post very often, but if there's an ultrasound picture or we get video of the heartbeat or something like that, that's what I'll be posting, at least for a little while. I don't take bump photos right now, so you won't even see that. Like, it's just a new little account, and it's just very casual. Anyways, that's all I have to say today. Yeah, like I said, if you've got questions or you want to follow that Instagram account, see you down below. And I will talk to you next week.